Vande Surya Shashanka Vanninayanam Vande Mukunda Priyam Vande Bhaktajana Ashrayam Javaradam Vande Bhaktajana Ashrayam Javaradam Vande Shivam Shankaram. Friends, today is a significant day for us, the followers of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was born on the 12th of January 1863. Until he met Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa in the year 1881, his life has the first phase. During the first phase of Vivekananda's life, we find him an inquirer after truth. There is in him a quest for knowledge. There is in him a search for God. His mother, Bhuvaneshwari Devi, brought him up with the milk of Ramayana and the Mahabharata. More than the Mahabharata, it is Srimad Ramayana that has influenced Swami Vivekananda very greatly. In the Ramayana, the character of Sri Rama has had its influence on Swami Vivekananda. Rama to Vivekananda is a role model, and therefore he used to worship Sri Ram in his private room. When he was a school boy, there was a conversation between Narendranath, the future Vivekananda, and a senior person. The topic for discussion was who is more useful to the society. Narendranath was a follower of Sri Ram. Sri Ram is an avatar Murti. He has performed welfare activity. He has been useful to the society. Therefore, Narendranath has spoken on the side of Sri Ram. Who is more useful to the society? Is it a householder or is it a brahmachari? Rama has been useful to the society. He removed the anti-social elements. He protected the good people. And by performing Dushta Sikshana and Sista Rakshana, protection to the righteous and punishment to the unrighteous, Sri Ram has performed a great duty, and Sri Ram is a householder. Therefore, Narendranath said, a householder is more useful to the society. Even in our scriptures, it is the Grihastha householder who feeds the brahmachari, who supports the Vanaprastha or even the sannyasi. Grihastha mode of life is the support to the entire society. Therefore, Naren chose to speak on behalf of householders. The senior person asked, Naren, good. On what basis do you say a householder is more important, more useful? What is your Pramana Grantha? On the basis of which book do you speak so? Naren immediately said, on the basis of the Ramayana. And the senior person said, my dear Naren, the same book projects the character of Hanuman. Ram deny. But a mischievous person can attribute motives to the social welfare activity of Ram. If Ram has killed Ravana, it is for his personal benefit. It is to save his wife. It is to get back his wife. See, Hanuman, he has no personal things. He has nothing to gain. He has perfected himself as a brahmachari, and the perfected flower of brahmacharya has been placed at the disposal of the society. Swami Karya, Rama Karya, Praja Karya, Daiva Karya. It is the work of the society, work of the nature. It is the work of God. It is the mission that He has chosen. And Ram has done social service. I don't disagree. Anjaneya has done social service. You have to accept. Between Ram and Anjaneya, there is a lot of difference. Rama's actions can be attributed to a selfish motive, whereas Anjaneya is totally deprived, denied of any personal benefit. When both are useful to the society, the question is, who is more useful? It is Anjaneya who has saved Sita when she is about to commit suicide. It's Anjaneya who has brought life back to Lakshman by bringing Sanjeevani mountain. It's Anjaneya once again who has given life to Sri Ram himself when he is lying unconscious on the battlefield. And it is Anjaneya who has given the second life to all the Vanara warriors when they were stupefied on the battlefield. And it is Anjaneya who has prevented Bharata from entering into the fire. All the characters, including Vibhishana, have been rendered yeoman service by Anjaneya. Right from the moment he enters the book Ramayana, till the last, he has nothing to gain for himself. He has been serving all. Therefore, Anjaneya is superior. Anjaneya is a brahmachari. A celibate is more useful to the society than a household. Naren has to accept defeat for the first and the last time in his life. He has returned to his house. He has looked at Sitaram. He is unable to worship Ram, who is not being able to occupy the highest place. There is somebody superior to him in the field of social service. He has taken the idol of Sitaram, has gone to the nearby window and has thrown the idol out. There is vacuum. The pedestal where there has been a deity is now vacant. And there is emptiness in his heart. He is unable to forget Ram. He is unable to accept Ram. His conviction does not permit him to continue his worship. His love wants Ram. There is a clash between reason and sentiment. The small boy is unable to withstand the pressure of both. He rushes to his mother Bhuvaneshwari Devi, weeps. And the mother understands the reason, sends the pure, gets the image of Shiva. She gives the idol of Shiva to Naren, asks him to worship. Shiva's image is placed in the place of Sitaram. Now, there is a thought. Is this Shiva superior to Ram? Ram is a householder, wedded to one wife. Shiva is also a householder, wedded to two wives. One is given a place on the head, Ganga. Another is given half the body, Ganga a woman or is Ganga a river? 2. Is Parvati a lady? If she is a lady, who are her parents? If the parent is Parvata Maharaj, how can a mountain beget a daughter? Are they all cock and bull stories? Do they have any purpose? Question after question, all these questions crystallized into a single question: does God exist? Has there been a person who has seen God? And that search was the beginning of his first phase. He grew. And from the mouth of Professor Hasty, he had the introduction to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Naren goes to the great Dakshineshwar, sees at a distance Sri Ramakrishna. Now, he seems to be in a state of trance. It is that word trance that has actually prompted Professor Hasty to describe the greatness of Sri Ramakrishna. Naren means Sri Ramakrishna. The same question which he has been asking everybody is repeated. Have you seen God, sir? And the great sage says emphatically, yes. I am not a person to believe your words if you say yes. Can you show him or her or it? I can show you, but are you ready? Sri Ramakrishna receives the reply that Naren is ready, places his hand, and Naren shouts, cries, I am sorry, please drop the attempt. I cannot bear to see God. My head reels. I am unable to experience this. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, wait. You have to prepare yourself to see God. You have to prepare yourself to experience God. Life is a long preparation, sadhana, to become fit enough to experience that state of self-realization, God-realization. The idea is sown. For about 6 to 7 years, there has been a regular contact between Naren and Sri Ramakrishna. This tutelage, this training in the spiritual lore, this training in sadhana, this training in social service, this training in self-abnegation continues. And after the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, as a parivrajaka, as a wandering monk, Swami Vivekananda started his journey from Calcutta to Kanyakumari. This is the practical application of his knowledge, acquisition of knowledge from the direct experience. The first phase is in childhood, a search for truth, and the training under Sri Ramakrishna is the second phase. The third phase is his parivrajaka life, wandering monk. That started about 1887. For about 2.5 years or so, he has travelled, sometimes on foot, sometimes by a vehicle. There were two principles. One, he never took money from anybody's hand. 2, he never cooked his food. 3, he never begged for food. He was able to come to Kanyakumari on the 25th, 26th and 27th of December 1892. He went to that rock, sat on that rock, meditated on Mother India. He did not pray for his self-realization, nor did he ask for God-realization. It was for the redemption of this great country. This country had been in stupor. It had been in sleep. It had been soaked in the Tamasika way of life, almost insensitive sleeping lion unaware of its energy. Looking at that country which has been in sleep, Swami Vivekananda the third day stood up, and in spite of his physical weakness, hunger, thirst, 3 days he didn't eat, 3 days he did not sleep, 3 days he did not even drink water because the water around was only salty. On the third day, he stood up like a lion, and he roared like a lion, arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. And this marks the phase of activity. Service activity, welfare activity, patriotic activity, rousing activity, waking up activity. He came to the shore, proceeded to Bombay, and boarded the ship on the 31st of May 1893. On the 31st of July, he landed in Chicago. He proceeded to the office. He came to know that the Parliament of Religions was postponed to September. He did not have enough money to maintain himself till the commencement of the Parliament of Religions. Therefore, on the advice of the friends, he proceeded from Chicago to Boston. And in Boston, he was able to get the acquaintance, friendship with Professor John Wright, who recognized his greatness, identified his greatness. In India, in Porbandar, there was one Shankara Pandurang who identified the potentialities of Swami Vivekananda. Other than Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who was able to find the greatness of Narayan, the worldly person first to recognize the greatness of Swami Vivekananda was Shankara Pandurang in Porbandar. It was he who gave him the idea. Narayan, Swami Vivekananda ji, Vividishananda then he was. You are not a person to stay in India. Indians are unfit to recognize your merit. It's only when the Westerner praises you, Indians follow suit. They are incapacitated to identify the talents of anybody. They are incapacitated to recognize anybody's greatness. Therefore, I suggest to you, Swamiji, please go to Parliament of Religions. It's going to be held in Chicago. The idea was first given by Shankara Pandurang. And that was working in his mind. Somehow he succeeded in going to Chicago. From there he went to Boston. And in Boston he met Professor Wright. And that Wright had discussions with Swami Vivekananda. And he said, I shall take the responsibility of putting you on the stage at the Parliament of Religions. He wrote a letter to Professor Barrows, the chairman, president. Here is a man more learned than all the learned professors of America put together. Here is a man who requires no credentials, no certificates to prove his worth merits. It is the Parliament that will be honored if it gives an opportunity to this Vivekananda to speak. And Swamiji, after some struggle, was able to meet Mrs. Hale on the 10th of September, Sunday, at about 9 o'clock. And it was she, Mrs. Hale, who took Swami Vivekananda to Professor Barrows. The time was fixed. Swami Vivekananda in the afternoon on the 11th of September spoke with the overwhelming love for the entire global population, Vasudhaiva Kutumbaka, universal brotherhood, sisters and brothers of America. And that won him laurels. He became the global personality. And then, when he was staying in the house of Mrs. Hale, he used to receive invitation after invitation to speak at various places. Wherever he spoke, he was able to attract large crowds. And everywhere, he used to have many admirers, fans. And those fans and admirers used to write letters. Care of Mrs. Hale was the address. Every day he used to receive 100 or 150 letters. Most of them letters of admiration. 80 or 70% of them love letters as well. Married women, unmarried women used to write love letters, and Mrs. Hale was able to see from the handwriting, this is from a girl. And she took permission from Vivekananda to scan the letters. Only the important letters were handed over to him. When she was going through the letters, she was able to understand that many women were mad after Swami Vivekananda's physical features, extraordinary intelligence, handsome personality. And Mrs. Hale, an elderly lady, was a little worried as well. This young brahmachari, handsome brahmachari, spiritual giant from India has come to propagate Vedanta. I wonder whether this young man would go back alone. He may be married here. He may fall a prey to the loving glances of a beautiful girl. She was a little worried. One day, at about 10 o'clock, after delivering a talk somewhere, Swami Vivekananda came home and Mrs. Hale opened the door, and as Swami Vivekananda was entering the room, hall or the main entrance, his eyes were half closed, and he was in a state of a peculiar intoxication. Strange looks, strange words, and his lips were muttering. Fascinating, fascinating, beautiful, wonderful, exciting, enchanting, mesmerizing, captivating. All these words are condensed in a single word, fascinating, meaning most beautiful, most wonderful. And Mrs. Hale, who was already worried, came close to Vivekananda. Swamiji, who is that lucky girl that has fascinated you, that has won your heart, that has captured your attention? Swami Vivekananda came to normalcy and he said, Ma, it is not a girl in America that has won my heart. It is the organizational efficiency in America that has won me. If only we Indians had this type of organizational expertise, we would have been on top. Indians, individually, each is a genius. Each is very great. We have great scriptures. We have great Upanishads. We have great thinkers. We have great patriots. But people do not come together in a team to work out. Had Indian people been together in a team spirit, Hinduism would have encompassed the entire universe. We are great individually, but collectively we don't succeed. What is the speciality of the Western civilization? They are good at the teamwork. A few people from England came in the name of East India Company. 33 crores of Indians have been enslaved by just a handful of people because of their team spirit. And we have been slaves. No organization is able to become global on account of insufficient, inadequate, incorrect organizational efficiency. What we need in India is not a brain. It is togetherness of all the brains, togetherness of all the hands. This was the lesson he taught. And he came to India. From 1893, 11th of September, till 4th July is the last phase. He became the global personality, 1893 to 1902. Just about 9 years. During these 9 years only he had his wonderful public life. And during these 9 years, On the 26th of January 1897, he came back to India, placed his feet on the sands at Rameshwar. He rolled on the floor and wept profusely. He took the sands, poured on his head, made an abhisheka. His friends asked, "It's after all your motherland. Why do you behave strangely?" True. Before I left India, I loved my mother Bharat, as any young boy would love the mother. But after visiting the foreign countries, especially US and Europe, I am able to realize the greatness of our Bharat. This is the country in which Rama is born, Krishna is born, Purushas are born. The great people of extraordinary abilities are born. What I call my countrymen. I just love this country. Now, the dust of India is sacred to me, holy to me. The patriotic fervor came to the surface, and he wanted to combine that patriotic spirit with the organizational efficiency. He started the Sri Ramakrishna March. Now, what we need in India, it is not the brain. It is the organizational efficiency. When we call it an organization, it is a collection of heads, hands, hearts. Each individual is living. Together we must be living. Each individual is an extraordinary genius. Together we must multiply that intelligence. And each has the strong hands. Thousands and lakhs and crores of hands should be put together to make them granite-like, Vajrayuta. And this combination is the organizational efficiency. In his works we find what organization is. In an organization, top priority is to planning. If the planning is perfect, implementation just follows suit. While planning, the top person has to develop that vision and be a missionary. Vision should be wide, broad, far-sighted with foresight. And that vision should be worked out with minute detail, inch by inch planning, minute by minute planning. For that a team is to be built. Everybody in the team must be in a position to understand the spirit of the vision and the actualization of the mission. And Swami Vivekananda is known for his wonderful conduct of meetings. He comes to the meeting, says, he proposes. He says, if we do this, these are the advantages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we don't do this, there are the disadvantages. If I do this, advantages, and these are the disadvantages. If we don't do this, these are the advantages, these are the disadvantages. My dear friends, can you tell me any other advantage which I have not been able to foresee? Can you tell me any other disadvantage which I have not been able to foresee? Yes, Mr. X. I don't think there is anything. Next, next, next. He would ask everybody, and he takes the decision. Don't do anything without consultation, and don't go to a meeting without homework. The leader has to do a lot of homework with all psychology. Sri Ramachandra Prabhu had the proposal. Vibhishana has come. He wanted to take refuge at the feet of Sri Ram. He was kept at a distance. The messengers conveyed the message of Vibhishana's arrival, and Sri Ram invited all the council members. Nala, Nila, Angada, Sugriva, Jambavan, Anjaneya, and all these people were the advisors. Now he proposes, Vibhishana has come. He wants to take shelter here. If he comes, these are the advantages. And if he comes, these may be the disadvantages. If he does not come, these are the advantages. If he does not come, these are the disadvantages. Anything other than this? Nala repeats. Nila. And finally, Anjaneya Swami takes the total analysis. Finally, Sri Rama says, while taking a decision, there must be a principle behind. The principle in my life is Abhayam dadami sarva bhuteshu etat vratam mama. Whoever thinks of Ram, whoever surrenders at the feet of Ram should be denied, deprived of the fear, nirbhayatvam. I am born to offer that protection to everybody. This is my life principle. A leader must have a life principle. Swami Vivekananda has the life principle. One should be useful. Be and make. They alone live who live for the welfare of others, the others are more dead than alive. Any organization is meant for the social welfare. And welfare is at various levels, physical level, psychic level, intellectual level, and spiritual level. Every discussion of Swami Vivekananda is based on certain principles. If a person has to apply the thought to the life of Swami Vivekananda, we can be in a position to get the managerial principles, organizational principles. Swami Vivekananda is a genius. In his name, we are running this wonderful institution. We must be experts in our organizational efficiency. He has lived 4th of July. His preparation is complete. His sadhana is complete. His fruit is at his doorstep in the night. Having attained the highest, having contributed his best, having made everybody a person of motivated involvement in the welfare of the country, he thought he should relinquish the body. He should be one with the God. He should attain Mahasamadhi. Today, on this 4th of July, 1902, Swami Vivekananda dropped his mortal coil and he is now a voice without form, and he is working in various organizations. He is working through various people. May the spirit of Swami Vivekananda be vibrant, may motivate, may invigorate everybody. Let's now meditate on that great person, Swami Vivekananda.